Hey doing everyone, welcome back. As you can see, I am wearing a Team Canada hockey jersey, and there's a reason for that. Actually, what's funny is the only time I don't like Canada, Canada, I love you, alright? The only time I don't love you is in international hockey. So it's kind of funny that I would have one of your jerseys, right? Actually, I don't have one of your jerseys. I have two of them. But the only time I don't like your country is in international hockey. I love everything else about your country and your culture. All right, everything else. Hockey is the greatest sport in the world. You gave that to us, right? You have a reputation for being a very polite people, a very nice people, and every single Canadian I have ever met lives up to that stereotype, except when you're playing hockey or fighting wars, and I've seen them both, right? Now, why the focus on Canada today? Well, the focus on Canada is because I was just looking at my analytics, and I noticed that my largest audience, and it is not even close, is Canadian. Not even close. So, to my Canadian friends, thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, very specifically, well, first of all, before I get into very specifically where uh, the biggest Canadian markets that I'm hitting are located, the three major cities that I'm hitting. Before I get into that, how much of my audience is Canadian? 49.8%. That's close enough to call it half. Close enough to call it half. I am getting more viewership from Canada than I am from my own country of the United States of America. And Canada, thank you. Thank you very much. The United States is second, and the UK is third. I know that I also have at least one viewer from Australia, and I want to thank actually all of you. Close enough to 100% of the people who see my videos are English speakers, like 99.7 or 99.3%. The analytics are fascinating. But Canada, three very specific cities that I want to send a shout out to, because you are the three cities that actually showed up in my analytics. By the way, all of you have NHL teams, one of which I like, one of which I despise, just the team, not the city, and one that I'm indifferent toward. And I'm not going to tell you which one is which, because, all three of the cities are fantastic from what I know. I've never been to Canada, but I plan to go to all of these cities because I've heard that they are all fantastic places, right? If I lived in Canada, I would want to live near these cities, and by near, I mean like within a few hours drive, right? Or maybe kind of like outside, like I am just outside of one of the cities in Iowa, right? And I'm not going to tell you which one because, well, that doesn't matter now, does it? But I am within a few hours of several major cities within the United States, right? Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Kansas City, Milwaukee. But the three cities in Canada that showed up in my analytics: Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver. Keep in mind, I like one team. None of those three are my team. I'm actually a Colorado fan, but I like one of those teams. I despise one of them, and I have no. I'm indifferent toward the other, right? And again, it's not relevant which is which, right? You know, unfortunately, my team and, well, none of your teams are still in the playoffs. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen. Some deep runs from both my team and the Canadian teams that, well, all of the Canadian teams that made the playoffs. But you know, when Toronto and Ottawa are playing against each other, you know, somebody's going to go quick. But yeah, things to love about Canada, right? And I'm saying this just from the closest I have ever actually been to Canada, other than flying over it, and that was flying over the east coast of Canada. The closest that I have been to Canada is I've been on the U.S.-Canadian border when I was at Niagara Falls, so I could look into Canada, right? Now that was during COVID, so there was no crossing over. You know, border was shut down. I would have loved to have crossed the border just to say I was there, but I want to actually go to Canada, right? Because some things that I love about Canada, based on numerous factors, popular culture, and your hockey teams, and you know, just the people and photos that I've seen of the natural beauty, and photos that I've seen of your cities. Yeah, Canada is on my bucket list, right? So I plan to visit your country, hopefully soon. Like I said, other than international hockey, there's nothing about Canada that I can think of that I don't like. Possibly poutine. I mean, that sounds like it would be a little bit weird, but you know what? Maybe I would love it. Maybe I would absolutely love it. In fact, I remember one of the most Canadian things that I have ever seen in my life is a guy, I believe he was in Edmonton, took a Zamboni to a Tim Hortons drive-thru. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't the only thing that would make that more Canadian be if you were to order a double-double and a poutine? But, yeah, I mean, I would love to do something like that here, right? Just go down to the rink and grab the Zamboni and just take it to the drive-thru. Are Zambonis even street legal? I mean, even in Canada, they're probably not street legal, are they? I mean, I don't know, maybe, because, you know, it's Canada, and you guys are awesome, right? And yes, I'm having a little bit of fun with the Canadians, but not poking fun at you, but having fun with you, you know, because y'all are the greatest people that that I have ever met. Between the Canadians and the Australians, I mean, and that's no disrespect to people from other countries either, but as far as outside the United States, and people in the United States are often unpleasant, unfortunately, but a lot of us are decent people, right? I mean, it just depends on, well, and I suppose this is true anywhere. It depends on where you are and who you're dealing with, right? So, where I live in Iowa, Iowa nice. It's something we kind of pride ourselves on, and it's a thing, sure it is. Certain parts of the state, people aren't nearly as nice, it seems like. And I'm sure that's true in Canada, Australia, which, by the way, Australia, you're also on my bucket list. The UK. UK is another place that I would absolutely love to visit. Actually, hey, UK, be nice to my wife when she visits you later this year. Had a bug land on my glasses, so just trying to get rid of that. But yeah, Canada, thank you. Thank you for the support. I mean, I think that you have just a fantastic culture. Your national anthem is a beautiful song, by the way. In fact, my first NHL game that I ever attended, I would have preferred for it to be in Denver, but it wasn't. It was in Vegas, and the Calgary Flames were the visiting team. And I was cheering for the Flames because, quite frankly, I can't stand the Knights, right? I guess that kind of narrows it down to Calgary not being the team that I despise of the three. So, Toronto, Vancouver, I'll let you duke it out as to which one I despise. And one of you I either love or I'm indifferent toward. Well, not love, but I like. And the other, so Calgary, you can decide whether or not I like you or whether I'm indifferent toward you. And again, not your city. I have nothing against your city. But, I mean, you're not the team that I despise, that's for sure. But yeah, Canada, thank you. I didn't expect you to be such a large percentage of my audience, close enough to call it half. Yeah, and those three cities, I mean, I hope to visit you all of you. I mean, I just love everything about Canada that I know about Canada. Right? Like I said, the only time I don't like you is in international hockey. That's it. That's it. And that's not a personal thing. It's nothing against your country. It's just the U.S.-Canada rivalry. I just want to see you guys lose in international hockey. But a lot of my favorite players are, in fact, Canadian. So there's that. So Canada, again, thank you. And I'll see everybody next time.